What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about ticker BIDU. Did have their earnings on Tuesday. I want to go over the absolute key highlights from the earnings that you need to kind of take away. Aside from that, what analysts are saying and just some general support and resistance points. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Tuesday, they did drop their earnings and they did cause it to go down 7.51%. These were some of the tentative results. So earnings per share, they did beat revenue. They also beat 85.61 million over. And so I'm going to go over future guidance near the end of the video. But all in all, it, like I said, did go down and it was a little bit on the more extreme side. So the implied move was 6.65% in either direction. And you can tell that there was a lot of optimism. So the 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 day, and 1 day leading into the earnings was all fairly positive. Even looking at shorts didn't really do all that much in reality. So normally you can kind of see a trend if they return leading into earnings, meaning that it's relatively bullish, or vice versa. They didn't really do anything. So it's been kind of hovering around that 2.5% range. On a side note, this isn't a squeeze play. I'm just bringing this up more for analysis purposes, but 2.63% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 7.43 million shares. Based on the options that was done today, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around between that $92 and $95 range. And then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub roughly $85 to $88. So let me know your viewpoint on that. With it right now at $88 and change, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 87.99 will be a very key support that you really want to watch for it to hold. Flip side, 95.24. So it is kind of orienting towards this pivot point. So definitely over the next couple of trading days, watch that. These are all the analyst ratings that did come out over the last couple of days. So all the ones that came out from yesterday and then some today. So you have $130, $98, $94, $85. So that is the new low for this stock. Well, actually, sorry, I guess there was a $85 one 2 months ago, so more of a reiteration of that. And then aside from that, you have $144 that was done last month. So as a consensus, $106.85, and then that does represent a 21.38% upside from these kind of prices. So let me know your viewpoint on that and give yourself a shout out if you bought, if you sold, or what you did. So let me know your viewpoint. And like I said, I want to go over the future guidance and yeah, some of the absolute key highlights that investors need to be aware of. So with that said, let's get right to it.
Baidu targets accelerated AI cloud growth with ERNIE 4.5 and global robotaxi expansion in 2025. Earnings call insights Baidu, Q4 2024 management view. CEO 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛 highlighted a pivotal year for Baidu with significant advancements in AI-driven innovation, including a 26% year-over-year revenue growth in the AI cloud business, driven by market recognition of their AI capabilities. The company plans to open source the ERNIE 4.5 series and make the ERNIE bot free for users to expand market awareness and adoption. The autonomous ride-hailing service, Apollo Go, continues to scale, providing 1.1 million rides in Q4, a 36% year-over-year growth, and achieving 100% fully driverless operations nationwide. Expansion efforts include securing permits in Hong Kong, marking the company's entry into right-hand drive markets. CFO Junji He noted total revenues for Q4 at RMB 34.1 billion, with Baidu Core contributing RMB 27.7 billion. Baidu Core's online marketing revenue declined 7% year-over-year, while non-online marketing revenue grew 18%. Driven by the AI cloud segment, operating income was impacted by one-time losses, including accruals and inventory write-downs. Outlook. Management anticipates AI cloud's strong momentum to continue into 2025, with Gen AI-related revenue nearly tripling year-over-year in 2024. They foresee broader enterprise adoption of foundation models as costs decline and performance improves. CEO 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛 emphasized plans to accelerate ERNIE's iteration and adoption across products, while targeting new monetization opportunities for generative AI-enabled search features as they become more refined. Baidu expects gradual improvements in advertising revenue in the first half of 2025, with further acceleration in the second half, supported by macroeconomic recovery and AI-driven enhancements. Financial results. Total revenues for Q4 were RMB 34.1 billion, reflecting a 2% year-over-year decrease. Baidu core revenues increased 1% year-over-year to RMB 27.7 billion. AI cloud revenue reached RMB 7.1 billion, marking a 26% year-over-year increase. Net income attributable to Baidu was RMB 5.2 billion, with diluted earnings per ADS at RMB 14.26. Non-GAAP net income was RMB 6.7 billion, and non-GAAP diluted earnings per ADS was RMB 19.19. Operating expenses remained flat year-over-year at RMB 12.2 billion, while non-GAAP operating income for Baidu Core was RMB 4.6 billion, achieving a 17% margin. Q&A. 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, Citigroup. Asked about the strategic rationale behind open sourcing ERNIE 4.5 and the competitive landscape in foundation models, CEO Robin Li explained that open sourcing enhances adoption and demonstrates confidence in Baidu's technological leadership, citing a 178% quarter-over-quarter growth in external API calls. Lincoln Kong, Goldman Sachs inquired about the outlook for AI-generated search results and user engagement. Management noted that 22% of search result pages now contain AI-generated content, with improvements in user retention and search queries per user. Gary Yu, Morgan Stanley. Asked about AI cloud's growth trajectory, management highlighted robust enterprise demand and expanding partnerships across sectors, with Gen AI-related revenue contributing significantly to AI cloud's growth. Miranda Zhuang, Bank of America. Sought updates on Apollo Go's strategy, CEO Robin Li outlined plans to expand fleet size, pursue asset-light operational models, and explore international markets, supported by validated business models and technological leadership. Sentiment analysis. Analysts raised concerns about macroeconomic headwinds affecting advertising revenue, but expressed optimism about AI cloud growth and future monetization opportunities for AI-driven products. Management's tone during prepared remarks was confident, emphasizing technological advancements and strategic investments. In the Q&A, responses were detailed and forward-looking, reflecting confidence in AI-driven transformation. Compared to the previous quarter, management maintained a consistent focus on AI innovation, but exhibited increased optimism regarding global expansion and new monetization avenues. Quarter-over-quarter comparison. AI cloud revenue growth accelerated to 26% year-over-year in Q4, compared to 11% in Q3. Gen AI-related revenue nearly tripled year-over-year in 2024. Management's tone shifted slightly toward greater confidence in 2025 prospects, particularly regarding international expansion for Apollo Go and broader adoption of ERNIE-driven solutions. Analysts' focus remained on advertising recovery and AI cloud profitability. Consistent with prior quarters, BIDU was increased interest in ERNIE's open sourcing strategy and robotaxi expansion. Risks and concerns. Management cited macroeconomic challenges and competitive pressures in the advertising sector as ongoing risks. Analysts expressed concerns about the pace of monetization for generative AI-enabled search and the near-term impact of economic recovery on small and medium enterprises. Management emphasized disciplined resource allocation and operational efficiency to mitigate these risks while advancing AI innovation. Final takeaway: Baidu's Q4 2024 earnings calls showcased its continued focus on AI innovation, with significant growth in AI cloud revenue and expanding adoption of ERNIE-based solutions. The company's strategic decision to open source ERNIE 4.5, coupled with its leadership in autonomous driving through Apollo Go, highlights its commitment to long-term growth. Despite macroeconomic challenges, Baidu remains optimistic about recovering advertising revenue and scaling its global operations in 2025, underpinned by its technological leadership and AI-driven transformation.